Hi, everybody. This is Voss Graham. I am the CEO of Interactive Consulting Group, and I have with me my lovely partner and guru in her own rights, Robin, who is the president of the company, and she has her own expertise that she operates under. I'm like the corporate guy, even though I'm a full-blooded entrepreneur. But I have learned how to work with both entrepreneurs, and that's where I really am focusing now, is helping entrepreneurs build sustainable, long-term, profitable business enterprises that have more people involved in their organizations. And then, Robin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do on your side of the organization?
Oh, thank you, boss. I shall do that. So I work both in the personal and professional arenas, and I love to help people realize that they have more greatness within them than they realize. And I have a very unique offering that allows people to accelerate stepping into who they are, but they're frustrated because they can't do it the way they want, or they have fears about speaking in public, as an example, or on a video. And it's an accelerated way of really stepping into who you know you are, or utilizing, another way to think about it is utilizing the training that so many companies spend millions and billions on, and yet it's all what we would call conscious level training. And it doesn't necessarily create lasting change. So One of the things that I do is really help individuals within organizations create lasting behavior change.
Yeah, I just read an article where corporations they're scheduled to spend something like $153 billion on training and development this year in 2019. And what's interesting about that, folks, is not all the time do these trainings take hold, and there's a logical reason. One of the things that Robin has taught me during the years is that it's all because of beliefs and self-limiting beliefs. That it's part of an actual process. Beliefs create attitudes about things, and then the attitudes deliver behaviors relative to those beliefs, which then drive performance and results based upon whatever that belief structure is. Now, typical corporate training comes in and does a behavioral adjustment.
Or an attitude adjustment.
I mean, we were doing the attitude adjustment for years, and it worked to a certain level. But long-term sustainability sometimes suffered because the belief was still there. And Robin's process helps rewrite some of these old belief structures that actually could have come from our parents or very important individuals that we grew up with. In my case, it'd be coaches.
First bosses, the impact of a first boss can probably create a residual influence throughout our lives, and that may have not been the best boss.
You know, that's a true statement that she just made, because in all of my coaching experiences, I have found that a lot of people have followed whatever that first boss was, their first manager. And if the manager was a dominant command and control type, they had a tendency to revert to that type of behavior because that's what they had seen and observed, and they believed that it worked. But yet when they have to learn how to collaborate in a team environment, they were struggling big time, because no longer would they be totally in control. And we had to go in and help them change some of those inner beliefs that were actually hindering their progress as leaders. And I do a lot of leadership development. I work with executives and managers across the country in helping them to get to that next level of performance, whatever that is. Now, we don't have a set process that we can just go in and say, hey, we're going to fix everything with just use this. And that's not what we do. We want to determine, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And how big is the gap?
Right.
And sometimes the gap requires a little extra closing because of the belief structure that Robin is a master at helping people reprogram those mindsets. I'm fascinated with how she does this, and I have overheard some of her clients talking about that, and it's heartwarming for me because she's my partner in more ways than one. I might add. Anyway, in fact, that's a good question. Some people cannot believe that we're a husband and wife team and have been operating our business for 30 years, and in that time we get along great. We're still like newlyweds at home, and
had a date last night.
Yeah, we had date night last night in the rain, I might add. But we have endured this because we follow certain rules or principles that we feel like are important. Our belief structure is such that we're both independent people, could live by ourselves independently. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do. Yet at the same time, we have decided to be to elevate to that interdependence level, which is the key to our success, because we both communicate,
respect each other.
Well, what's your point of view? I kind of biased, so do you have the same point of view on
Absolutely,
this?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think we started our relationship long distance, and it required us to communicate and to be honest and authentic with each other, and we've continued that for 30 plus years. So,
we have.
Yeah.
It's a happy, she gets the Warriors Medal of Honor because she's put up with me for over 30 years. So that right there is enough to show that that this lady has honor and fortitude and is really driven to success and endures all the ups and downs of her 0 to 90 husband.
It used to be 0 to 60. Now it's 0 to 90.
It's even faster. As you get older, you just kind of go. There's no speed limit at our age. Anyway.
Yeah. So how would you suggest people consider our 30-year success as an entrepreneur, and how does that relate to perhaps a leader that's watching this or another entrepreneurial?
Well, that's a great question, and I believe it really boils down to just following the base principles that you and I observe on a daily basis. We are open and honest in our communication. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and get it out on the table and dialogue about it. We like to have results and solutions before leaving the scene, so to speak. And we're also very trusting of each other. So we have 100% trust in each other, which then allows us not to have all those little petty negative emotions of jealousy or there's a whole number of them. I mean, they're too long to list.
Because we don't have them.
So. We don't have them, so I'm not familiar with them, other than I observe them in others from time to time. But it's it's one of these things that you just get excited about life and working with somebody who is really upbeat all the time and positive, and that's what Robin brings to the table. And
likewise.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I do have fun in life, that's right. For sure.
He makes me laugh quite often.
I try to do it every day. Anyway, this whole concept of working together it's just an honor. We have total respect for each other also. And the interdependency play is really the critical part, because we both are working to see the other one achieve at the highest level they can possibly reach, fulfill their own potential. I want her to fulfill her potential and be even better than she believes. And you know, when we look at the assessments, I know that she's, one of the areas of disbelief is that she has that potential, whereas I'm I'm overconfident that I'm going to succeed in life.
And I have to prove it first.
Yeah, you have to prove it. She's logical, and I'm the loose cannon. But that's where I have fun working with corporate people or the executive team, because I like to bring a little humor and loosen up the crowd, so to speak, work on the communication. In strategic planning processes, we really can get engaged and change direction based upon dialogues, and making sure that everyone is being respected for their opinions, even if they don't sound good at first. A lot of times, the single voice in that boardroom will create the solution to the corporate situation. I've seen that time after time. One person who studies it and is not part of the herd or group mentality says, "What about this? I think it's this," and then I get, a lot of times I have to tell everybody to back off and let that person explain their position. And once they explain it, then surprise, surprise, half the group jumps on their bandwagon and moves forward. But it's all about progress. Neither one of us expect perfection, even though
I try.
she did look perfect this morning. Anyway, we don't really get into this perfection game, which leads to blame and disappointment and that sort of thing. We really look at progress. As long as there's progress being made, we celebrate progress, and progress is the only true indicator that things are working out extremely well. And that's where I get to see it a lot. I get to observe Robin in her habitat of helping clients, and it's truly heartwarming, and at the same time satisfying to know that she is fulfilling her potential and her own destiny in life. And that's kind of what it's all about, working together as we're both trying to help the other one achieve. And what happens, the more we individually achieve in our sectors, so to speak, the company excels also. And that's been pretty cool. In fact, last year, it was really funny. Last year, we were neck and neck as far as revenue. We were 50-50, and then she pulled a sly one in the last month and added a workshop in January and captured a bunch of revenue, and she took 50.1% of the revenue, and I got 49.9. But I'm jealous a little bit, just a teensy bit. But
it shows the even connection.
Yeah,
that
we both have our own expertise, right, and insights and experiences. I mean, Robin's been doing her focus for over 20 years. I've been doing mine for 36 plus years as an independent consultant and business advisor.
We often say that we have forgotten more than we remember. So some of the things that we see come into the business discussion or consulting discussions, articles, etc., we look at each other like, we were talking about that 30 years ago. And so it just shows that each of us, you watching this also, know more than you realize. Yeah. And what we both have realized is when we get into a coaching scenario or a conversation, you come up with these ideas and this knowledge that's down in your subconscious that comes in when it's needed. Right. And trusting that that's going to happen. And I've watched Voss do this brilliantly with his clients. And he'll say, I didn't even remember reading that book, but when it was the appropriate moment, he can pull out the page number almost of the book.
No, I can't do that. That's too much detail. But the impact.
The impact of the words he can bring in whenever needed. And if you had a tour of our house, which we will not do, but if you had a tour of our house, we are a hoarders of books, and we probably
reports
and all kinds of things. We could probably open up a business library in our house.
Absolutely.
And what's wonderful about the books that we have is, I would say 80%, 85% we've probably read.
Yep.
There are some that are in the stack to be read, but I would say
we're just waiting for that moment when a customer raises an issue and the book will actually jump off the shelf and say, study me. Right. You might get an idea of how to fix this problem, which I know sounds kind of weird, but it's true.
No, it happens that way.
But you have to trust that solutions will come to you in various and sundry formats. Sometimes it's just a blinding flash of the obvious. Other times it's gathering all the detail and logically coming to a conclusion. In other cases, it's like, maybe there's an answer in this book or this report, or there's a summary or something that's out there, and we're not afraid to go look for new sources. We don't think everything has to be invented here, other than working processes. That is one of our foundations. Is everything is a process. If you figure out the process, it's repeatable, and once it's developed, then it's pretty much a slam dunk on getting it done correctly on a regular basis at a high level and high quality.
No.
All right.
So I think we need to close this.
We've kind of yacked for a long time here, like 17 minutes. I can see on the old countdown. But I just want to thank you for tuning in and watching our video. We love life. We run a company together that's very successful in helping our clients get to that next level, whatever that level is, and that's our versatility at play. And if you want to get in touch with us, you could call us at 901-757-4434, or go to our website at interactiveconsulting.com. And I've got a vossgraham.com. Robin has rlgraham.com. We're just website aholics here.
We have a few more, but we won't mention
them all.
We have
a few more, and so we would welcome you. And if there's something that we could help you, either your organization, the entrepreneur, in communication, coaching, development, overcoming beliefs, self-limiting beliefs.
Setting up a mindset for success.
That's correct. And mindset for success. Now, that is a key component and a key concept that everybody should be engaging in today. So with that, I want to thank you, and please get in touch with us and let us know if we can help you. We can just have a dialogue. If that's, we're not trying to sell you anything here at this point. We just want to find out how, what the issue is, and is there a way that we can help you? And we'll tell you yes or no. All right, you take care.